All right, welcome to the Carl Jackson Show, your daily dose of objective truth in a world of confusion and lies. Guys, let's talk about how the left has turned white progressives into hood rats. I'm going to dive deep into this today, along with other stories that have broken the news, and we got some clips. We've got some videos for you as well. You have the Tesla protests that broke out across the United States, and frankly, in some places around the globe. Also, this is big news that the left isn't talking about. The Trump DOJ has dismissed this Biden-era suit against Georgia's election integrity law. Doge reveals 6 big scams that the federal government was perpetuating on us. The Secretary of Defense raises military standards. And guys, we got a big Supreme Court race, Wisconsin Supreme Court, Florida District 6 I want to get into. And lastly, Marine Le Pen gets the Trump treatment in France. How long are we going to play this game that these NATO allies are really friends of ours? I'm getting a little, I don't know. I'm not feeling too ally-like with them as of late. We'll get into that. All right, so you are listening to the Carl Jackson Show. Please subscribe to the podcast wherever you go to get your podcasts: Apple, Google, Spotify, YouTube, and Rumble. Pull forward. All right, so I think I want to get right into this. Let me play some videos for you, and then we'll get into some of these. You guys have seen some of the videos of what transpired last week with that Doge interview and with Brett Baier. But I do want to get into some of the protests and some of the things that you're seeing around the United States, or in the United States and around the globe. Gabe, if we could get together cut number 15, just let me know when it's ready. But I want you guys to see this. So you have to understand who the left is and what the left has been able to do to white progressives. Again, the left has turned white progressives into hood rats. The left, listen to me, the left has turned white progressives into hood rats. Carl, what are you talking about? Why is this? Why are you talking like this? What does this have to do with anything? I'll tell you what it has to do with the left and the way that the country is going. Guys, let me just be completely real with you, not as if I am not already. But here's the deal. This is what the left and the LBJ and the Great Society did with the black community. They destroyed the black community. The Great Society did. Democrats intentionally did so. In my opinion, all you have to do is look at the results. What has transpired, where you have anywhere from 75 to 80% of mothers in the black community giving birth to children out of wedlock. It's absolutely insane. You've got young men, women alike, but lots of young men that are being raised by women that don't know how to confront things logically, rationally. And I'm talking about if they get into arguments and stuff like that. Oftentimes when you grow up in the hood or urban communities, what do? How do you settle? Arguments? This isn't all the time, right? But oftentimes you do settle things by fighting. You do settle things emotionally. And you see that by and large, sadly, in black communities. That's what I saw growing up. And I don't think anyone that grew up in the black community, anyone that grew up in the hood, frankly, that's what you saw. That's what you knew. You know, somebody talked trash, somebody talked about your mother. You fight over it. There wasn't, we're going to reason this out. And I'm not saying that fights don't happen in white communities and Latinos and stuff like that, but I went to a school that was predominantly black and Mexican, and fights happen all the time, every single day. And I'm not exaggerating. It was insane. It wasn't until I got to another school here in Florida, finally moved to Florida as a teenager, where fights did occur, but they were few and far between comparatively. Maybe there was one fight every couple of weeks, or maybe once a week, you know, but I mean, literally, you could see a fight daily. Where I grew up, and it was just insane. And sometimes they would be very vicious. But the left has trained white progressives to act the same way, to act completely emotional. I'm going to get into some of the things that transpired, even with Columbia University over the weekend, that absolutely disgust me. But first, let's play video clip number 15, and then I'm going to take you to some of the most scandalous things that were exposed in Brett Baier's interview with the Doge team. Let's roll it, por favor, Gabe. Burn a Tesla, save democracy.
Appreciate it.
This is the left. This is the tolerant left. Let's go to another clip. Let's go to clip number 12. You get the gist there, but this is the left. These people the left has turned white progressives into hood rats. People that just want to promulgate violence, people that want to burn stuff and destroy stuff. Oftentimes, sadly, it's what the black community, it's what we've done to ourselves. You guys remember the LA riots? You guys remember the BLM riots where we go around and we destroy our own communities, destroy job opportunities, destroy businesses in our own communities. Now you have the left that has made white people so mad that now they're doing it. They don't rationalize anymore. They don't think these white liberal progressives straight up act like Negroes in the hood. I mean, it's the craziest thing that I've seen. It really is. And I'm thinking, man, why? How did they do this? Why did they do this? I suspect I know why they did this. I don't think it's going to work anymore. Obviously, what the left wants, and listen, I don't want to go too far with this, but in a sense, they want brown shirts. They want an army of people to intimidate those of us that are on the right, intimidate those of us that go against what they believe. If you don't agree with the left, they're going to beat you up. They're going to destroy your business. And it's proof positive. I just want you to understand, it's proof positive that the left never believed in the issue, at least not with their core being of climate change, man-made climate change, because all of the material and the waste that's going up into the air, and when these people burn up these Tesla dealerships, there were pictures that I saw of Tesla dealerships in Europe where they were just burned out. I mean, just burned out. You got these EV batteries filled with all of these different minerals and components that are just that will absolutely destroy the air that you breathe. It's insane. They don't care. The left wants waste, fraud, and abuse. Now, what do I mean? The left wants waste, fraud, and abuse. Carl, what are you talking about? The Federalist broke down some of the videos that we saw with the Doge interview, and I'm going to get to them shortly. But just think about this. Nearly 1 billion, and we'll go through each one of these. Nearly 1 billion survey for no reason. Nearly 1 billion paid for a survey that was literally for no reason at all. I'll get to that momentarily. 15 million fraudulent social security numbers of people that were 120 years old. Yet we know that the oldest person in the world is 114 years old. All right. So what is that about? You got more federal credit cards than federal employees. Another thing that was exposed, 9-month wait to retire via the paperwork filed underground in that mine. Some of you may have heard about that or seen that with a previous interview with Elon Musk himself. But now you got these Doge team members, and these guys are very successful businessmen. And guys, let me tell you something. A lot of these guys lean left, and there's no doubt in my mind that these guys are getting a wake-up call themselves. You know, Elon Musk asked them to help out. Some of these guys they're all volunteering their time. They're not getting paid for this. So far, they've discovered approximately, as we speak today, about $130+ billion in waste, fraud, and abuse. And they haven't even touched, this is just the tip of the scale. This is insane. 700 different IT systems at just one federal agency, and none of them connect with each other. We've been paying for this nonsense. One of the things that they exposed when it comes to social Medicaid, and Medicare, they've got systems. You've got hundreds of thousands of people that are getting double Medicaid services, payments, or what have you, simply because they may have been poor people that moved from one state to the other, and there's no system in place within the federal government to say this person moved to this state. They don't have systems that communicate with each other. And for this, you burn up a car. Listen, I'm not an EV fan by any stretch of the imagination, but I had no idea that the vast majority of Teslas were American made, the most American made vehicle that there is. And apparently they're even transferring batteries where that stuff can be done here eventually. I'm not a fan of it whatsoever, but nonetheless, I didn't know that. 600 million in federal loans to children and dead people. I will get into all of this. This is absolutely insane. The left is going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. There's more news that I'll get to as well. Actually, there's so much news, it's insane. We'll try to fit as much of it in as we can as possible. A court of appeal stays allows Trump administration to continue with USA cuts. That's good news. I know there's a lot of you out there that have heard the video or heard the audio of Trump saying he's considering a third term. I can't believe that people are falling for it. But Trump, I want you to keep saying it. If people are dumb enough, frankly, to fall for that, and if media is, then so be it. Continue, continue to fall for it. Continue to fall for it. The left wanted to concentrate on Signalgate. People are past Signalgate. It was a mistake. It was a big mistake. But nonetheless, we realize that Jeffrey Goldberg is a nefarious journalist. He is this is a guy that's out for attention. This is a guy that is part of the Russia collusion hoax. This is a guy that's trying to keep his name relevant. And I think he's done more damage to his name and the brand that is the Atlantic, quite frankly. And he's going nowhere fast. Columbia University interim president resigns after complying with Trump's executive orders. You had Columbia alumni that were tearing up their diplomas. And honestly, I'm like, tear up your paychecks. We'll be back. All right, guys, don't forget, the Carl Jackson Show is brought to you by MyPillow. MyPillow is excited to announce that they are extending the mega sale on overstock clearance and brand new products. This is your chance to grab incredible deals on some of MyPillow's most popular and newly released items. For example, you can save $40 on the new spring MyPillow bed sheets. They're available in any size and any color. These luxurious sheets are designed for maximum comfort and breathability, perfect for a great night's sleep. Looking for a meaningful gift? You can save 30% on the brand new Mike Crosses that are inspired by the one Mike has worn every day for over 20 years. These beautifully crafted crosses come in both men's and women's designs and are proudly made in the USA. So get the 6-piece bath or kitchen towel sets for just $29.98. Initial quantities are extremely limited, so please do not wait. And don't forget the best-selling standard MyPillow. That's just $14.98, guys. I cannot sleep without a MyPillow. I'm not even lying to you. All right, not that I would, but I'm not. All right, so plus orders over $75, ship absolutely free. So go to mypillow.com, use the promo code Carl. That is CARL, or call 800-858-0263 to order right now. Again, use promo code Carl or call 800-858-0263 to order right now. Okay, so I want to go back to some of these videos here with Doge. I'm just going to go through this real quickly. We'll go back and forth with it. The left has turned a bunch of white progressives into hood rats. So I do want to share some stories and some videos for you and just outline some of the things that are being done with Doge. Let's take them one by one. Let's go to video clip number 4, if we could, please, Gabe.
For you, what's the most astonishing thing you've found out in this process?
The sheer amount of waste and fraud in the government. It is astonishing. It's mind-blowing. We routinely encounter wastes of $1 billion or more, casually. For example, like the simple survey that was literally a 10-question survey that you could do with SurveyMonkey, cost you about $10,000. The government was being charged almost $1 billion for that.
For just the survey?
$1 billion for a simple online survey, do you like the national park? And then there appeared to be no feedback loop for what would be done with that survey. So the survey would just go into nothing. It was like insane.
All right, so just to clarify what he just said, in case you missed it, let me get right here, my formerly fingerprinted fingertips here. So there was a survey that cost nearly $1 billion. The Federalist wrote about it in detail. So the federal government was paying nearly $1 billion for an online national park survey that resulted in no changes or other outcomes as a result of giving the survey. The survey should have cost $10,000. Anywhere else, that survey would have cost $10,000. It costs you, the taxpayer, $1 billion. And see, this is the thing. You got a lot of people that are out there saying, we're trillions of dollars in the debt, $100 billion here, $100 billion. What? How do you think you dig yourself out of debt? You dig yourself out of debt $1 at a time. That's the way it happens. I mean, these people that say stuff like that, either they're not worth being public servants or they're corrupt themselves. This is insane to me. I mean, the videos go on and on and on. 15 million fraudulent Social Security numbers. So Steve Davis told Bear that more than 15 million Social Security numbers are older than 120, yet marked in the system as alive. The oldest living America is only 114 years old. So meaning those 15 million Social Security numbers are used for fraud. Now, they haven't said whether or not these people are getting checks, but quite frankly, I assume they are. Why? Because the the Treasury Department, whatever payments were required were made. We heard Scott Bessent say it before. This is absolutely insane. This is your money. And these people are out there protesting. What are they protesting? We want waste, fraud, and abuse. Are we still doing this? Is this still what the left wants? Guys, there are two important races that I got to make mention of. If we're going to stop this stuff. Now, you have Florida District 6, and I got to be honest with you. I'm not a fan of this Republican. My thoughts are Randy Fine is better than the commie. All right. I believe that this guy will be better than the Democrat who is a left-wing nut. Randy Fine is not a great candidate. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you, but he's better than a commie. I do believe that he will toe the line when it comes to Trump's agenda. And I do believe that he needs to be kicked out and replaced with somebody else as soon as possible. But it's a very important race. It's a very important race. And I want to get the gentleman's name right in Wisconsin. The gentleman that's running for the Wisconsin Supreme Court. But this, too, is an extremely important race. This is an extremely important race. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Let me scroll through my account here. Forgive me. This is technically live, even though you guys aren't. Let's see here. Let me go home. All right, let's do this, Gabe. While I search for this, let's play another Doge clip. So let's go down the line. We just played 4. Let's go to clip number. Let's go to clip number 5. If we could, please.
Our goal is to reduce the deficit by $1 trillion. From a nominal deficit of $2 trillion to try to cut the deficit in half to $1 trillion, or looked at it in total federal spending to drop the federal spending from $7 trillion to $6 trillion. At a high level, you should think of this as we want to reduce the spending by eliminating waste and fraud, reduce the spending by 15%, which seems really quite achievable. The government is not efficient, and there's a lot of waste and fraud. So we feel confident that a 15% reduction can be done without affecting any of the critical government services.
Okay. This is easily achievable. Just so that you understand, and if you're listening to this podcast, I know you do, but I've got to say it. We're talking about cutting the deficit. We're not even touching the debt. We're talking about cutting the overspending that they do above and beyond what is budgeted every year. That's what we're talking about cutting. And you have the left going apoplectic. Why? Because this was a slush fund for the Democrat Party. We all know it. I've talked about it before. So again, $15 million in fraudulent Social Security numbers, people 120 years old. There's a Tom Cross, the CEO or former CFO of a large tech company, called the federal government's financial management practices alarming. He said, quote, "There's $500 billion of fraud every year. There's hundreds of billions of dollars of improper payments, and we can't pass an audit. If I was a public company, a CFO, I would effectively be removed." So federal agencies control 4.6 million credit cards, which is almost 2 credit cards for every single one of the 2.3 million federal employees. This is what Davis said. He said, quote, "There should not be more credit cards, obviously, than there are people." This is... If a commercial company, he says, operated the way the federal government does, this is what Musk said, it would immediately go bankrupt. It would be delisted on the stock exchange, and the officers would be arrested. We all know that that's true. 9 months to retire via the paperwork that's filed underground. The Airbnb billionaire Joe Gebbia, described a giant cave, 22,000 filing cabinets. I know you guys have seen the video of that, housing 400 million pieces of paper. This is the federal government's antiquated retirement system. So it takes the people literally 6 to 9 months for processing because it's all done by paperwork instead of digital. Now, I, for one, feel like there should be some backup paperwork, but because who knows? But you can do this so effectively, so quickly, just by digitizing everything Gebbia said it's an injustice to civil servants who are subjected to these processes that are older than the age of half the people watching your show tonight, he said to Brett Baer. Honestly, it's an injustice for taxpayers. These people could retire early. Get them out. This is insane. 700 different IT systems at just one federal agency. The National Institute of Health has more than 700 different IT software systems that don't talk to each other. What? Overseen by 27 different chief information officers, most of whom aren't technicians. Most Musk and Doge's, Brad Smith said. I mean, this stuff is just unbelievable. You got one more, 600 million in federal loans to children and dead people. All right. So the federal government had on its books 300 million in small business loans to people under the age of 11, more than 300 million to people older than 120. We should not be giving out loans to babies, obviously, Musk said, and that's true. And circling back real quick, right here, my formerly fingerprinted 700 different IT systems at just one federal agency. They said the IRS has 1,400 people whose entire job it is to supply IRS hires with a company laptop and phone. 1,400 people to give new hires a laptop and a phone. If these employees merely supply 2 IRS employees per day, they could resupply the entire IRS with brand new phones and laptops nearly every month, he noted. That doesn't make any sense. Clearly, at least 1,000 of those employees are duplicative. That's what you're paying for. That's what you're paying for. It's insane. Now, guys, Trump has had some wins, and obviously, the left has been distracted by this. I don't know if this was a story in particular that he wanted to distract them from, or maybe, listen, we're going into this issue with tariffs. You have Putin that isn't playing ball. Trump says that he's, quote unquote, pissed off with Putin. He also said that Zelensky is an illegitimate leader. And now Zelensky doesn't appear to want to do the minerals deal. I mean, so this is something that's going to go back and forth. Remember, these guys have been warring for 3 years, over 3 years. This is not going to be an easy thing to settle, but we do have to try to bring this puppy to an end. There's so much more that I want to talk about, and I will do so briefly. California puts forward a measure named after the alleged CEO murderer, Luigi Mangione. Guys, this is who we're dealing with. This is the left. I'm telling you, the left has succeeded in turning white progressives into hood rats. It's alleged murder, the type of thing they look up to. This, according to the New York Post. Californians could soon be voting on a new healthcare law named after Luigi Mangione, the Ivy League grad who is accused of executing the CEO of United Healthcare. The Luigi Mangione Access to Healthcare Act was put forward by retired Los Angeles attorney Paul Eisner, who said the sick stunt was necessary to get publicity for his proposal. This is insane. This is sick, but this is the left. A bunch of white progressives are now hood rats. We'll be back. All right, guys. Listen, just real quickly here. We got a new sponsor that I want to talk to you about. It's called Fast Growing Trees. Did you know Fast Growing Trees is the biggest online nursery in the U.S. with thousands of different plants? And over 2 million happy customers. They have all the plants your yard needs, like fruit trees, privacy trees, flowering trees, shrubs, and so much more. Whatever plants that you're interested in, Fast Growing Trees has you covered. Find the perfect fit for your climate and space. Fast Growing Trees makes it easy to get your dream yard. Order online and get your plants delivered directly to your door in just a few days without ever leaving home. Their Alive and Thrive guarantee ensures your plants arrive happy and healthy. Plus, get support from trained plant experts on call to help you plan your landscape, choose the right plants, and learn how to care for them. Guys, this is a great deal. Listen, as a person that owns a landscape company, if you could bring the expertise right to your house and the plants that you want right to your house that are going to fit perfectly for your landscape, guys, you want to give these guys at Fast Growing Trees a call. This is a great service for those that want to spruce up your lawn, especially considering the spring season. Listen, this spring they have the best deals for your yard, up to half off on select plants and other deals as well. And listeners to our show get 15% off their first purchase when using the code CARL at checkout. That's an additional 15% off at fastgrowingtrees.com using the code CARL at checkout. That's CARL. All right, fastgrowingtrees.com, code CARL. Now's the perfect time to plant. Use CARL to save today. Offer is valid for a limited time. Terms and conditions may apply. Fast growing trees, fast growing trees, fast growing trees. All right, guys, welcome back. You are listening to the Carl Jackson Show. Again, your daily dose of objective truth in a world of confusion and lies. Please make sure you subscribe to my podcast wherever you go to get your podcast. Apple, Google, Spotify, YouTube, and Rumble. The Carl Jackson Show is where you can find me, Salem Podcast Network as well. But let me just go back to this Mangione, what is it? Mangione, Luigi Mangione. This is who the left is. Guys, I'm telling you, white progressives are now hood rats. They have figured out how to turn these spoiled brats. Many of them are people that grew up privileged in the United States of America. And listen, guys, I'm okay. You grew up as an American. Your parents do okay. They set you up. I'm good with that. Don't try to tear it down so the rest of us can't achieve it. I mean, this is insane to me. Why would you do this? This is a publicity stunt. This guy, this is sick. This attorney, in my opinion, is sick. First off, it undermines truth. It undermines truth. This guy is a murderer. He's a cold-blooded murderer. This is a guy whose grandfather came out here as a legal immigrant, lived the American dream, made it. And this is a guy that's likely on the left, a Democrat, more than likely, voted for Democrat politicians. I'm not sure if his family is or not. But it's the left. It's the Democrat Party that has essentially hooked up the insurance companies. This is astounding to me. Why this thing is named after him it just proves how sick the left is. And then with the Tesla protest erupting around the U.S. and Europe, this is insane. But this is where we are now. This is where we are. Oh man, there's so many things going on. This is insane. I want to get to this. There's so much more that I want to get to. So we've covered Doge. We've covered the Tesla protest. While we're speaking of objective truth, did I mention objective truth? If I didn't, I should. I want to play a video for you. This is Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth. He came out earlier. This is what he had to say about standards. Gabe, do we have that video? If so, let's go ahead and roll it, please.
Hey everybody, Pete Hegseth here. We're about to land in Washington, D.C. on our way back from Japan, where we've been meeting with the troops, talking to allies and partners, reestablishing deterrence in the Indo-Pacific. It's Sunday, but of course we're still working. I want to show you one thing. It's a new memorandum that's coming out today on combat arms standards. You see, for far too long, we allowed standards to slip, and different standards for men and women in combat arms MOSs and jobs. That's not acceptable. We need to have the same standard, male or female, in our combat roles to ensure our men and women who are under our leaders or in those formations have the best possible leaders and the highest possible standards that are not based at all on your sex, if you're a man or a woman. So I'm signing this memorandum today. The services will review, and soon we will have nothing but the highest and equal standards for men and women in combat.
All right, so why is this important? Obviously, objective truth is really important. Science is really important. Men and women are different biologically. The size of their bodies, muscles, bone density, obviously genitalia, they're different. But this does another thing. Guys, go back to your childhood. Go back to your childhood. Was there anything that you ever wanted to be a part of because it would have made you feel more important, special, elite to some extent? Whether it was being part of on a basketball team, football team, baseball team, maybe ladies, it was a cheerleading squad. I don't know. Maybe it was a spelling bee contest, whatever it may have been. Maybe you dreamt of being a doctor or a lawyer, whatever it was. Whatever it was. This sets people apart. It challenges people. This is so brilliant to me because it goes beyond the objective truth of man is a man is a man, a woman is a woman. Scientifically, a man is a man, woman is a woman, biologically, X, 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 Y. But it challenges people to a point where you want to be a part of that organization because you want to be amongst the elite of the elite. And that is what Secretary of Defense under Donald Trump is offering. Men that can now be part of the elite of the elite. Women the same, if they can meet the standard. But if they can't, I frankly, I don't believe that women should be in combat zones. That's my opinion. But if you can meet the standard, this is smart. It's so simple. It's so simple. It's so common sense. I can't believe it. It's sad that we've gotten to this point where common sense is such a treasure, such a treasure. All right, I want to turn to another story real quick because this is honestly this is where I fear will end up. First, I'm going to play you a video of a lady that's in the UK. We're going to go to video clip number 1, Gabe. And then I want to just tell you briefly what's happening with the race in France with Marine Le Pen and why we all should be concerned about that, in my opinion. And frankly, guys, I'm starting to question, and I've said this before, while I was sitting in for Dennis Prager. Thank you for all of you that may have followed me from Dennis Prager's show. But I said this before. I'm getting a little uncomfortable with these NATO allies. I just don't know. I just don't know how we continue to call them friends when the things that we fight for, the things that we value, they no longer value. Let me go to video clip number 1. I'll bring this full circle, or at least I'll try to. I believe I can make it work. But let's play video clip number 1. This is what's happening in the UK. And then I want to take you to France. Guys, it's the EU, NATO allies, one and the same. Video clip number 1, por favor, Gabe.
The mayor of London is Muslim. The mayor of Birmingham is a Muslim. The mayor of Leeds is Muslim. The mayor of Blackburn is Muslim. The mayor of Sheffield is Muslim. The mayor of Oxford is a Muslim. The mayor of Luton is a Muslim. The mayor of Oldham is a Muslim. The mayor of Rochdale is a Muslim. All of this was achieved by only 4 million Muslims out of the 66 million people in England. Today in England, there are over 3,000 mosques. There are over 130 Sharia courts in England, and there are more than 50 Sharia councils. 78% of Muslim women do not work and receive state support and free accommodation. 63% of Muslims do not work and receive state support and free housing. State-supported Muslim families have an average of 6 to 8 children who all receive free accommodation. Every school in the UK is required to teach about Islam. The number 1 most common baby name in England is Muhammad. This is not immigration. This is invasion.
Okay, so I'm going to share this column with you, if you'll bear with me for just a moment. This appeared in Zero Hedge earlier. In latest blow to European democracy, judge rules that Marine Le Pen is ineligible to run for president in 2027. All right, so her conviction will strengthen her aura in French society. That's what we can learn from the Trump-style American politics. This was said by Christopher Marion, a lawmaker from Macron's party. The presidential elections in Romania and Le Pen verdict show that democratic norms are being trampled upon in Europe. This, according to spokesman Dmitry Peskov. Jesus Marin, Orban tweeted following the ruling for Dutch far-right leader Geert Wilders. The verdict was tough. I trust she will win the appeal and become president of France. Italy's deputy prime minister and leader of the League Party, Matteo Salvini, called the ruling a declaration of war by Brussels. but there was also unease within the political mainstream in France. Basically, what you happened, Marine Le Pen, who is the right-leaning candidate in France, a judge just said, listen, she can't run. There's some controversy with banking or something to that effect, and so she effectively can't run. They are pulling the Trump card in France. Perhaps they're watching what's being done here. Observers have drawn these parallels with U.S. President Trump, who won a second term with a clutch of criminal cases hanging over him, and like Le Pen, has made trenchant opposition to immigration a cornerstone of his program. So Le Pen, a big cornerstone, obviously, of her campaigning is migration, illegal migration. The UK and Europe, they have turned so woke. That includes France, because you have so many immigrants that have come into the country, the politics have changed. And they give all these people welfare, they let all these people vote, and now these people are changing the way that things are done, changing the way that laws are made, changing society, changing culture. Le Pen can still appeal the entire verdict, including the ban on standing for office in a case that would normally take around a year to be heard by the Court of Appeal. A year. So she's basically out of the race. If her appeal process drags on, or if it is quick and her ineligibility is confirmed, the national rally will probably choose another candidate to run in her place, most likely her 29-year-old deputy, Jordan Bardella. So they want to divide the party. Either way, Monday's ruling is not the end of the story, but rather a step in the process, according to Rahman. Once Le Pen appeals, basically they just pulled a Trump on Le Pen. This is the left now. Hey guys, click here to subscribe to the Carl Jackson Show YouTube channel for all of my commentary and latest political analysis. Do not miss an episode. The Carl Jackson Show on YouTube. Subscribe now.